Hi students. Because of the technical little bit of technical difficulties, uh, we were not able to continue the video. So let us continue here this lecture in this video. Till now, actually we are discussing about the adrenal gland, right? So in that we have discussed the basic parts, the different parts of the adrenal gland. That is the outer part that is called adrenal cortex. The inner part is called the adrenal medulla. Now, in the adrenal cortex, if we take the section or if you see the adrenal cortex under the microscope, so we can see that all the different zones of the cortex and the medulla are clearly visible, right? So we'll discuss that in detail now. And as we have discussed that the cortex part, it secretes the hormones, and those hormones are steroid hormones, and the hormone which is secreted by the medulla part, those are amine hormones. And in case of the medulla part, they produce the hormone. The most important hormones are, that is adrenaline and non-adrenaline, or in different way we can say epinephrine and norepinephrine. And one more thing, one very important thing is that the adrenal medulla is under the control of sympathetic nervous system. In the last case, what we have seen, that the cortex is actually under the control of ACTH or angiotensin, right? So let's move on. So this is the figure, the diagram we can get if we see the adrenal gland under the microscope. So these are the different layers. It can be visible. So it's a schematic diagram to make you understand properly the different layers. So the first layer, what we can see, this is the fibrous capsule which is acting as a protective layer. Then the cortex zone start or cortex region start, which includes three zones: zona glomerulosa, then zona fascicularis, and zona reticularis. Zona glomerulosa, then the second layer we can see, this is fascicularis. I have already discussed with you, it's a cord-like structure. Then the extension of those cord-like structures on the cells are going inside the connective tissues, that is until the middle part as well. And the next layer what we have, that is a zona reticularis, and finally we have the adrenal medulla part, where the cells are compactly arranged. You can see the cells are compactly arranged, right? Now the hormones which are secreted by each zone, that are also different. The hormone secreted by the zona glomerulosa is mineralocorticoids. Then by fascicularis zone, that is glucocorticoids, and by reticularis it is your sex corticoids. So these are the different types of hormone, groups of hormones are secreted from the different zone of the adrenal cortex. And from the medulla region, adrenal medulla region, it secretes the adrenaline and noradrenaline, or epinephrine or non-epinephrine. Now we will discuss the hormones in detail one by one. First is mineralocorticoids. See, the mineralocorticoids, the most important mineralocorticoids is your aldosterone, and is the main or the most important mineralocorticoids, which is secreted by the influence of ACTH or angiotensin, right? The aldosterone is the most important mineralocorticoids. Now the mineralocorticoids are secreted by zona glomerulosa, as we know, and the factors or the condition which results in the secretion of the mineralocorticoids, especially the aldosterone, are either of the influence of ACTH or angiotensin. So let us see the different conditions. So when the sodium ion in the blood is low, or when the potassium ion level in the blood is high, in both the conditions the aldosterone gets secreted. And the aldosterone, it is having a special function. Okay, there are certain functions we need to discuss, what we can see in case of the aldosterone. The first we need to discuss, that is, it maintains the high sodium ions level in the blood, and this condition is known as hypernatremia. This condition is known as hypernatremia. That was the first function. Second, it maintains the low potassium level in the blood, and this condition is known as hypokalemia. Okay. This is called hypokalemia. So you please correct it. This is not hyper, this is hypo. Okay, so this is hypokalemia. So it's not hyper, this is hypokalemia. Please correct. I hope you have corrected. So this is hypo, this is O. Okay, hypokalemia. Now, next function. The absorption of the sodium and the absorption of the sodium and, or in other way you can say the absorption of sodium from the nephric filtrate, it increases and comes to the interstitial fluid, and this interstitial fluid have more and more sodium. So what we are doing, we are discussing one condition, the next condition, the function. Before we discuss the function, we need to discuss the next condition. So what is the condition? See, absorption of the sodium ion from the nephric filtrate, when it increases because of the aldosterone, it comes to the interstitial fluid, and this interstitial fluid have more and more sodium, and that is hypertonic condition will be achieved, right, by this. And because of this hypertonic condition, H2O, that is the water, is reabsorbed. As a result, the excretion of hypertonic urine can be seen. Because of this, the aldosterone is also known as salt retaining hormone. Okay, so that is the third function. The aldosterone is also known as salt retaining hormone. Why? See, the RAS also we have discussed in the excretion, that whenever there is aldosterone secretion is there, whenever there is a profuse sweating, blood loss, then what is happening? The glomerular apparatus which is present on the efferent arterioles, it will release the renin, and renin will go and activate the angiotensin, and finally it is going to activate the adrenal cortex zone, and we get aldosterone. And what is the function of the aldosterone? And aldosterone function is to retain maximum or the more amount of salt in the form of sodium, okay, from the nephric filtrate. So when it will take out more amount of the sodium ion from the nephric filtrate, as a result, the urine concentration will increase and it will become more hypertonic. And because of that, the aldosterone is also known as salt retaining hormone as well. Okay, so this is not necessary. Now the next is reduce. The aldosterone is also reduce the sodium ion loss from the sweat and urine. So it also helps to maintain the sodium ion balance by reduce the loss through urine or sweat. Okay, so in that way also it is helpful. Next, hyposecretion of aldosterone. If the aldosterone secrete in less quantity, then what will happen? Hyposecretion means less secretion of aldosterone. See, if the aldosterone is secreted in less quantity, what will happen? First thing is this: the hyposecretion of the aldosterone results in a condition known as Addison's disease. उसमें क्या होता है? In this disease, there is a bronze-like pigmentation on the skin can be seen. अगर एल्डोस्टेरॉन कम सीक्रेट होगा तो क्या होगा? एक डिजीज होता है जिसका नाम है एडिसन्स डिजीज. इसमें होता क्या है? सिम्टम्स क्या है? स्किन के ऊपर ब्रोन्ज पिगमेंटेशन, ब्रोन्ज होता है ना जो मेटल ब्रोन्ज, उसके कलर के जैसा पिगमेंटेशन आपके स्किन के ऊपर हो जाएगा. ठीक है, और किसके लिए होता है ये? हाइपोसेक्रेशन ऑफ एल्डोस्टेरॉन. राइट. नाउ नेक्स्ट, what is the next effect of hyposecretion or less secretion of the aldosterone? See, the sodium level of the blood will go down. As just now we have studied, It is reducing the loss of the sodium. In case if it is not present in optimum quantity, the sodium ion will lose it from our body, and that is called hyponatremia. Then what will happen? The potassium level in the blood is increased in this case, and that is called hyperkalemia. Just now we have discussed. Now sodium is get eliminated in the urine because we are not having the aldosterone in proper or optimum quantity. Then it cannot retain the sodium or the salt, so it will go along with the urine. It will lose it along with the urine. That means it is not coming into the interstitial fluid because it is going along with the urine. So that means it is not coming in the interstitial fluid, the fluid present in between the tissue. As a result, more water will lost and lead to dehydration. I hope it is clear to you, because most, because of the loss of the sodium, so most water reabsorption will also be not there, and as a result we will have dehydration condition. Okay. Next, if the sodium is less or decrease in the blood, it can cause some other problems, or the symptoms can be seen in other way also. Like, what are the symptoms we can see? If the sodium ion is less, it decreases in our blood, and what will happen? The person will have nausea, vomiting, and nerve irritability, etc. can be seen in case of that patient, right? If the sodium condition is less, sodium concentration is less, right? The next is hypersecretion of aldosterone. Till now we have discussed the hyposecretion. Now we need to discuss hypersecretion. If it is secreted in more quantity, then what will happen? Now this condition is also known as aldosteronism. That is known as aldosteronism. Okay. And in this case, what is happening? Now in this case, or in this condition, the sodium level, ion level will go high in the blood, and potassium level going to be very low. Opposite. Simply opposite, right? And this imbalance in the concentration of the ion is also going to affect the osmotic pressure of the plasma, right? Because of the imbalance in the ion, it is going to affect the osmotic pressure of the plasma. And what will happen as a result? As a result, the blood volume will increase, and it will also increase the blood pressure as well. Okay. So because of the change in the osmotic pressure in the plasma, blood volume will increase first. Then because of the volume is increasing, the blood pressure would also increase. And this imbalance in the ion it can also cause nerve irritability as well. Right. So that was the point of discussion in this hypersecretion. Right. Now, what is the next one we need to discuss? That is your glucocorticoids. Now, the glucocorticoids, these hormones are secreted by the second zone of adrenal cortex, that is your zona fasciculata. Right. That is secreted by zona fasciculata. Now these hormones, okay, the example of this hormone, the most important hormones are cortisol, then cortisone. These are the examples, right? Cortisol, then cortisone. These are the example of glucocorticoids, right? Now the glucocorticoids. Examples are just now I said, that is cortisol, cortisones, okay, which are coming under the main glucocorticoids. So this cortisol and cortisones are the main glucocorticoids, and the glucocorticoids are responsible for what? They are responsible for carbohydrate metabolism. They are responsible for carbohydrate metabolism. Okay, so they are responsible for carbohydrate metabolism. Right. Now, what are the functions we need to discuss of this glucocorticoids? Let us discuss the function one by one. The first function is it promotes the gluconeogenesis. That means what is happening in gluconeogenesis, that also we need to understand. In gluconeogenesis, what is happening? Any protein or non-carbohydrate is converted into protein. Okay, so any protein and non-carbohydrate is converted into protein. Next, cortisol or the cortisone also reduces the utilization of glucose or sugar. What is the second function? It also reduces the utilization of glucose and sugar. Right? So it can reduce the utilization of, or it can control the utilization of glucose or sugar in the blood or inside our body. Right? Now this glucocorticoids has anti-inflammatory and anti-allergic effect as well. And because of that, and because of these properties, see the glucocorticoids, they are having other properties as well, like they have anti-inflammatory properties, anti-allergic properties, right, etc. And because of that, they are also used, okay, in treatment of certain diseases, okay, because they are having this enzymes having this anti-inflammatory and anti-allergic effect. We have seen by some experiment that they are having anti-inflammatory, allergic effect. So that's why we are using this glucocorticoids to treat certain diseases as well. Which diseases? Rheumatoid arthritis, like other than rheumatoid arthritis, the other autoimmune disease or disorders, treatment of asthma. Also we use this glucocorticoid during the organ transplantation. So these are the different use of the glucocorticoids, because they are having this other functions or effect as well, right? So this is very interesting. Now they also actually acts as vasoconstrictor, and they also help counter the fall in the blood pressure. Whenever there is a fall in the blood pressure, this glucocorticoids can work as a vasoconstrictor. And all of you know, when you have already studied about the vasoconstrictor and dilator in the chapter of body fluids and circulation, you know very well that vasoconstrictor means it can shrink or it can reduce the diameter or the lumen of the blood vessel, right? So if the diameter of the lumen of the blood vessel is decreased, as a result the pressure can be increased, right? So by the vasoconstrictor, because it's a vasoconstrictor, it can counter the fall in the blood pressure. Suppose in certain case, मान लीजिए कि किसी कारण किसी के बॉडी में ब्लड प्रेशर घट जाए, so this glucocorticoids will come in action and they can help in increase in the blood pressure, right? Next, what would happen if they secrete in more quantity? See, we are going to discuss about the hyposecretion here in this case of glucocorticoids, because the glucocorticoid, the functions what we have discussed, this is the normal function if it is happening, if it is secreted in the normal quantity. If it secretes less than that quantity, all the things will change and it will go opposite. So that's what I'm going to discuss in detail. There is no special disease or something is happening because of that. So we'll discuss only the next part, that is your hypersecretion. Okay, we'll discuss the hypersecretion. In case there is hypersecretion of this type of this glucocorticoids, then what is going to happen, right? First, because of the hypersecretion, it results in Cushing syndrome. There is a disease called Cushing syndrome that can happen. What is happening in that case? There are certain things can be seen in this condition. Number one, there are certain things we can see if the glucocorticoids are secreted beyond the normal or optimum quantity, that is in hypersecretion. In case of the hypersecretion, so it can cause a disease called Cushing syndrome, and in this type of syndrome there are certain things we can see, observe, it will happen, and those are: number one, fat deposits under the skin cause swelling. So it will swell, it cause swelling in our body, and that will be done because of the deposition of fats under the skin. That was the first thing we'll see. Second, it increases the sodium and potassium ion in plasma. that is the water retention will be more, and because of which blood volume will increase, right? And it result, if the blood volume will increase, that means it result in high blood pressure. What volume increase होगा तो क्या होगा, blood pressure भी बढ़ जाएगा, and this also result in swollen body parts. And because of the high blood pressure, आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे पेशेंट है जिनको हाई ब्लड प्रेशर है, तो देखना उनके बॉडी के पार्ट्स, प्रिसाइसली हेड एंड फेस पार्ट विल बी स्वेलन, थोड़ा फूल जाता है, ठीक है ना. It is happening because of hypersecretion of glucocorticoids also, right? Now what is the next thing? We can see the high blood sugar in that case in patients, okay? In those patients, because of the Cushing syndrome, we can see high blood sugar level in their body as well, and the sugar is also going to excrete through their urine as well. So these are the things what we can see, and these are the like symptomatic or the changes a patient will have if the secretion of the glucocorticoids more, right? Now the next group of hormones we need to discuss, that is the third category which is secreted by the third zone, that is your zona reticularis of adrenal cortex. That was those hormones are sexocorticoids or sex corticoids, or also known as gonadocorticoids, right? Now these hormones are secreted by zona reticularis, we have just now discussed and already we have discussed, and the hormones which secretes under this categories are aldosterone. The hormones which are secreted under this category are, what are those hormones? So let us discuss some sexocorticoids or gonadocorticoids. See, always remember this mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, sexocorticoids or gonadocorticoids. These are the name of the group of hormones. Under that there are many different types of hormones are there. Okay, we are discussing the main hormones which are there in our syllabus or which are important according to our syllabus. So in this case, in sex corticoids, we are having certain other different. They are also having different types of hormones. So namely, first is your androsterone, then second one is your dehydroepiandrosterone, then it is also secreting, also other hormones are also secreted, that is in small amount. Those hormones are for female, okay, sex hormones like estrogen and progesterone as well. So what are the different types of hormones under this category we need to discuss? First is androsterone. Next is dehydroepiandrosterone, and some small amount of female sex hormones like estrogen and progesterone, right? So we'll discuss one by one. First, these hormones. What are the hormones? Just now we have seen here this three different types of hormones, all these hormones. What is the function we'll discuss? In case of male, these hormones are responsible for the secondary sexual characteristic development. So what are the secondary sexual characteristics? Like the body hair in case of the male, distribution of the body hair in the body. Then also the male like voice is also one of the secondary sexual characteristics in case of male, right? Or in case of female, what are the characteristic features they're responsible for? Or in case of female, what is the function of this hormone? Again, in case of female also, they are responsible for the appearance of the secondary sexual characters. What are those secondary sexual characters in case of female? Enlargement of the breast, then start of the menstrual cycle, then female like hair distribution in the body, right? So these are the secondary sexual characters. What is happening, or it is what we can see because of it happens because of these hormones just now what we have discussed, right? Now if the hormones what we have just discussed, those hormones, which hormones? Androsterone, dehydroepiandrosterone, estrogen, progesterone. If these hormones, the sexocorticoids, are secreted more than the normal quantity, optimum quantity, then what will happen? This is very interesting and very important. First we will discuss about in the case of female. So in case of female, what will happen? There would be appearance of secondary sex characters or sexual characters of male in female. क्या मतलब हो गया? अगर ये सारे हार्मोन ज्यादा हो जाएंगे, किसी के केस में हम पहले किसके बात कर रहे हैं, फीमेल के बॉडी में अगर ये सारे हार्मोन ज्यादा हो जाएंगे, सेक्सोकॉर्टिकॉइड ज्यादा हो जाएंगे, तो क्या होगा, उनमें जो मेल सेकेंडरी कैरेक्टर्स है वो डेवलप होना शुरू हो जाएगा, इवन दो दे आर फीमेल. So what will be the consequences? The female may have facial hairs, then more hair distribution of the hair in the on the body. In case of female, we can see it will be like a male. The voice will also be somewhat little bit similar to male. So the female will start to have start to develop these secondary sexual characteristics of male. Okay. And this condition is known as adrenal virilism. This condition is known as adrenal virilism. Okay. So the adrenal virilism is the condition where the female will develop the secondary characteristic feature of male. So maybe here is some small mistake, you please correct. So secondary characteristic, and this condition is known as, this is not virilism, okay, so it is adrenal, you write adrenal separately and you write virilism, okay, VIRI, this is R, this is R, this is I, virilism, okay, this is virilism, adrenal virilism, adrenal को अलग लिखना, virilism को अलग लिखना, right. So that condition is called adrenal virilism, 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 adrenal virilism. और pseudo hermaphrodites, और क्या बोल सकते हैं उसे, pseudo hermaphrodites, ठीक है. अब देखते हैं मेल्स में क्या होगा, अगर ये सारे सेक्सोकॉर्टिकॉइड ज्यादा डेवलप हो गए, ज्यादा अगर सीक्रेट होने लग गए तो क्या होगा. So in this case, in case of male, there would be appearance of the secondary sex characters of female. अब उल्टा हो जाएगा, जैसे फीमेल में मेल वाला कैरेक्टर्स आ गया, वैसे मेल में फीमेल वाला जो सेकेंडरी कैरेक्टर्स है वो आना शुरू हो जाएगा. इस कंडीशन को हम कहते हैं गायनेकोमैस्टिया. इस कंडीशन को हम क्या कहते हैं, गायनेकोमैस्टिया. हियर इट इज गायनेकोमैस्टिया, ठीक है. सो फिर से मैं कह रहा हूं, बिफोर वी मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट पेज, दैट एड्रेनल विरिलिज्म, एड्रेनल को अलग लिखना, विरिलिज्म को अलग लिखना, यहां पे मैंने गलती किया है लिखने में, ठीक है. आई होप इट इज क्लियर. नेक्स्ट, एड्रेनल मेडुला. अभी कॉर्टेक्स हमने डिस्कस कर लिया ना, अभी नेक्स्ट पार्ट है हमारे एड्रेनल ग्लैंड का, वो क्या है, एड्रेनल मेडुला. अब देखो, हम सबको पता है, हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस किया कि एड्रेनल मेडुला इज प्रेजेंट इन द मिडिल पार्ट, इट इज हैविंग द सेल्स व्हिच आर कॉम्पैक्टली अरेंज्ड, राइट. अभी हमें थोड़ा और आगे जाना है, और ज्यादा जाना है, ठीक है. First, it is the central part of the gland, that is true, and it is derived from nervous tissue. So this is the very important thing you need to understand. Question may come from this. See, this derived from which tissue, which type of tissue? This is derived from nervous tissue. So please try to remember and make it a point. Okay. Now it is ectodermal in origin. Already I have discussed. Then it has glandular cells. This has glandular cells. Okay, and those glandular cells are also known as chromaffin cells. This is very important. Those glandular cells are known as chromaffin cells. Okay, so I think again there is a small mistake. This is glandular, this is glandular, GLANDU. Then here it is U, glandular. Okay, or maybe let me write in this way. This is, just wait. Glandular, glandular. So this is a spelling, so please correct it. Okay, so the glandular cells, which are known as chromaffin cells, the glandular cell which are compactly arranged in the middle part of the adrenal gland, those are chromaffin cells known as chromaffin cells. Okay, and this chromaffin cells, they secrete two types of hormone. What are those two types of hormone? Adrenaline or epinephrine और noradrenaline और norepinephrine. दो तरह का हार्मोन सीक्रेट करता है, या तो एड्रेनलिन सीक्रेट करेगा और क्या करता है, या तो नॉर एड्रेनलिन सीक्रेट करेगा. ठीक है, सो एड्रेनलिन एंड नॉर एड्रेनलिन. अब देखो एड्रेनलिन जो है ना, इट इज ऑफ 80%. जो ये हार्मोन सीक्रेट करेगा तो इसमें से सबसे ज्यादा कौन सा हार्मोन सीक्रेट होगा? 80% इज एड्रेनलिन और 20% जो होगा वो नॉन एड्रेनलिन सीक्रेट करता है. ठीक है, अब हम सबको पता है कि एड्रेनलिन इज वर्क अंडर द स्ट्रेस कंडीशन और इमरजेंसी कंडीशन. हमने शुरू में ही पढ़ा है, हमने जब देखा था क्विक एक्टिंग हार्मोन, स्लो एक्टिंग हार्मोन, तो हमने उसमें भी देखा था, मैंने बताया था आपको. आपको सबको पता है कि एड्रेनलिन इज वर्किंग अंडर द स्ट्रेस कंडीशन. हमने पढ़ा था पैरासिम्पैथेटिक, सिम्पैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम इन केस ऑफ द इन द चैप्टर ऑफ नर्वस सिस्टम. सो आई थिंक दोस थिंग्स आर क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. प्लीज ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दैट. सो एड्रेनलिन किस सिचुएशन में काम करता है? इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन में काम करता है और स्ट्रेस सिचुएशन में काम करता है. ठीक है, और नॉन एड्रेनलिन किस सिचुएशन में काम करता है? उल्टा, अंडर द नॉर्मल कंडीशन. ठीक है ना, यू प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. अब देखो, मैंने शुरू में भी आपको पढ़ाया था, तभी मैंने बताया था, यहां भी बताना जरूरी है कि कैटेकोलामाइन्स हम कहते हैं इनको. क्यों कहते हैं भाई कैटेकोलामाइन्स? दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, यू नीड टू नो. सी, both the adrenaline and noradrenaline are amine hormones that we know, and they are derived from catechol. Okay, so they are derived from catecholamine. Okay, so that is why they are also known as catecholamines. ठीक है, so ये जो एड्रेनलिन, नॉन एड्रेनलिन है, तो ये क्या है? इनको हम कैटेकोलामाइन्स बोलते हैं, क्योंकि अमाइन हॉर्मोन्स है और कहां से डिराइव होता है? कैटेकोलामाइन से, राइट? इसलिए हम इसे क्या कहते हैं? कैटेकोलामाइन. ठीक है ना. चलो अब आगे हम डिस्कस करना है इसका फंक्शन क्या क्या है. वी टू डिस्कस द फंक्शन वन बाय वन. सो व्हाट आर द फंक्शन ऑफ द एड्रेनलिन? सी, एड्रेनलिन and the sympathetic nervous system, they work in the same manner and have similar effect on all the effector organ. ठीक है ना, पहले भी हमने डिस्कस किया था. Together known as sympathetico adrenal system. Together क्या कहते हैं इसे हम? Sympathetico और sympathetic adrenal system. और sympathetic को यहां पे ओ लगा लेना, सिंपैथेटिको भी बोल सकते हैं, सिंपैथेटिको एड्रेनल सिस्टम, राइट? फाइन. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन. लेट मी क्लियर इट फर्स्ट. क्या? सी, द एड्रेनलिन इज नोन एज स्ट्रेस हार्मोन. हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया है, जैसे कि whenever the heart rate is increased, blood pressure is increased, blood sugar level is also high. So at that time, like how it is, why it is happening? Because of the breakdown of the glucose. Sugar level क्यों ज्यादा हो जाता है? Because already we have discussed. ठीक है, in the beginning, in the quick acting hormone, it is breaking down the glucose for energy. The purpose is to get energy, so the blood glucose level will also increase. Okay, and which acts as this adrenaline is also act as a vasodilator. Okay, and it also increase the blood supply to brain. It also means help to supply the blood to heart, muscles, so that we are able to work in stress situation. तो एड्रेनलिन का और क्या काम है? इसका काम है कि ये ब्रेन को, हमारे मसल्स को, हमारे हार्ट को, ठीक है ना, हर जगह पे ब्लड पहुंचाता है. क्यों? ताकि हम स्ट्रेस सिचुएशन में ठीक से अपने सारे ऑर्गन्स काम कर पाए. That was the purpose, and it is done by this adrenaline. ठीक है ना. और क्या करता है? It dilate the pupil. देखो stress condition में pupil dilate हो जाता है. ठीक है. So during the stress condition, the pupil will dilate because of whose effect? Because of this adrenaline. So it is very very important. Next, the contraction of the spleen to pour the blood, it is also controlled by this adrenaline. And why the contraction we can see in spleen to pour, and what is the necessity of the spleen to contract and pour the blood? Because the blood is stored in the spleen, we all know that, and it contracts so that the blood gets added to the main circulation. Because in the stress situation, we need more blood, our vital organ, including our brain, including our muscles, our heart, all need more blood. So that's why the spleen will also get contract to provide more and more blood to the main circulation of our body, right? Now next, the energy requirement is more during the stress condition. All of us, we have discussed it, all of us, we know that. So the glucose level has, or it is actually, normally it will go up, right? Why? Because we are breaking down the sugar, right, in our body, so it will go up because we need energy. And if the glucose level is more, then the blood should be sent to the cell, and that's why the rate of the heartbeat is also increase. अब देखो सुगर लेवल बढ़ा मतलब इसका क्या मतलब है? सुगर कहाँ हमें भेजना पड़ेगा? एनर्जी हमें चाहिए तो हमें सेल को भेजना पड़ेगा, और सेल को भेजने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? कौन भेज सकता है? ब्लड भेज सकता है. It can reach to different part tissues and ultimately to the all the different types of cells of our body, right? And it can be only done by the circulatory system, and for that the rate of the heartbeat will also increase, because the pumping will also increase to transfer to to send the blood to each and every part of our body, to distribute the sugar, to distribute the glucose, and to get energy. The respiration or the breaking down, or to break the glucose and to get the energy, the cell will do that. And for that we have to provide the cell with the glucose, and for that we need to transport the blood, because the sugar is present inside the blood, so you need to transport it, and that will be done by the heart. So the heart rate or the pumping also of the heart will also increase as a result, right? But here, if the sugar has to broken down anaerobically, then there would be more oxygen supply. There should be more oxygen supply. देखो अभी पहला क्या है कि शुगर तो हमारे बॉडी में बढ़ जाएगा, ब्लड में बढ़ जाएगा, तो हमें क्या करना है? पूरे सारे जितने बॉडी में हमारे सेल्स है सबको भेजना है. हम कैसे भेजेंगे? हम पंप को बढ़ा देंगे, हम सर्कुलेशन की जो रेट है उसको बढ़ा देंगे, हार्ट बीट बढ़ जाएगा. अब जितना ग्लूकोज सेल में चला जाएगा, समझ मतलब उसको तोड़ना है, मतलब उसको ब्रेक डाउन करना है, रेस्पिरेशन करना है, ऑक्सीडेशन आपको उसको तोड़ना पड़ेगा, ऑक्सीडाइज करना पड़ेगा. तो उसके लिए हमें क्या चाहिए? ऑक्सीजन चाहिए. तो हमें ऑक्सीजन का सप्लाई भी बढ़ाना पड़ेगा बॉडी में, है ना? सो दैट मींस इट आल्सो हेल्प टू इंक्रीज द रेस्पिरेटरी रेट. इसका मतलब क्या? ऑक्सीजन अगर हमारे बॉडी में उसका सप्लाई बढ़ाना है तो हमारा रेस्पिरेटरी जो रेट है वो बढ़ेगा. वो कैसे होगा? बाय द डायलेशन, और बाय डायलेट द ट्रेकिया. हम क्या करेंगे? ट्रैकिया को डायलेट कर देंगे, सो दैट मोर एयर कैन रीच टू द लंग्स and exchange can be takes place. अब जितना हम ट्रैकिया को बढ़ाएंगे उतना ही ज्यादा हमारे लंग्स में एयर आएगा, उतना ही ज्यादा हम ऑक्सीजन एब्सॉर्ब कर सकते हैं, और एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैस उतना ही ज्यादा होगा, है ना? So because of the O2 or the oxygen made available to the sugar to release ATP. अब जितना ऑक्सीजन हमारे सेल को मिलेगा उतना ही ज्यादा फटाफट और जल्दी से ग्लूकोज ब्रेक डाउन होगा, और हमें क्या मिलेगा? ATP मिलेगा, मतलब एनर्जी मिलेगा, जो हमें स्ट्रेस सिचुएशन में बहुत जरूरी है ना? नाउ व्हाई and that is why because of that the adrenaline is known as stress hormone. Because of that the adrenaline is known as stress hormone, because it is working in the stress condition. That is why the adrenaline is known as stress hormone. And the gland which is secreting the adrenaline, it is also known as emergency gland. अब देखो adrenaline क्या है? It's an emergency hormone. In stress situation it is working, and this is secreted by a gland, that is your adrenal gland. Because the adrenaline is working in the emergency condition or in the stress situation, we call it as emergency hormone. And the gland which is secreted by certain glands, that is your adrenal, that is also known as emergency gland. So adrenaline is also known as emergency hormone, right? And adrenal gland is known as emergency gland. Okay. अब क्या होगा सर? आप पूछोगे सर बताइए फिर व्हाट अबाउट द नॉन एड्रेनालिन? सिंपली इट इज ऑपोजिट. अभी तक हमने जितना भी सब कुछ डिस्कस किया, व्हाट विल हैपन देन इन केस ऑफ द व्हाट इज द फंक्शन ऑफ द नॉन एड्रेनालिन? द नॉन एड्रेनालिन ब्रिंग द सिचुएशन टू नॉर्मल. हमेशा याद रखो कि एड्रेनालिन क्या करता है? स्ट्रेस सिचुएशन में काम करता है, इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन में काम करता है, और नॉन एड्रेनालिन क्या करेगा? अब देखो इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन या फिर आपका जो stress situation है, is it going to continue for your whole life? No, it will be for some time, right? After that it need to come back to normal जो रेट है, जैसे हार्ट बीट नॉर्मल होना चाहिए, जो कि स्ट्रेस सिचुएशन में बढ़ जाता है। तो सारे जो हमारे बॉडी के पैरामीटर्स है, सारे जो हमारे बॉडी के मैकेनिज्म है, उसको नॉर्मलाइज करना है। वो कौन करता है? नॉर एड्रेनलिन। ठीक है। So by this we have almost completed the maximum part of the adrenal gland. So you please make a note of it. You please try to understand. If you are not understanding some points, please revise and rewind and listen it carefully and make your notes. And from the next lecture we'll discuss. In the next lecture we're going to discuss the next hormone. Next gland. And probably I will discuss the pancreas and the testes and ovaries. Okay, so maybe by the next 2 or 3 lectures we'll finish the this chemical coordination. That means we'll finish the 11th completely, and then onwards we'll start class 12, that is with reproduction. Okay, so till then take care, be safe, stay at home. Thank you. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you.